Good afternoon, everyone. I was going to say good morning, and you know what? Maybe when you watch this, it is in the morning. So, good morning. Happy Labor Day. Best day of the year, personally. I wanted to make a video on Houda's powerlifting comp yesterday because I feel uber proud of her and a little bit of learning for me. Lots of learning for her, I'm sure, for her first competition ever, first powerlifting or any competition. So I thought I'd share the videos. I filmed each lift, and the main thing that I'm impressed with, happy with, proud of, is that Houda went 9 for 9, 9 attempts, 9 completed lifts. Not all white lights. There was a couple of red lights. So in powerlifting, you have 3 judges for the squat, 3 judges for the bench, 3 judges for the deadlift, and you need two or three white lights. So majority out of those 3 judges, you need at least 2 of them to say good lift for it to be a good lift. So Houda did get a couple of red lights, but never enough. It was only ever 1 judge. So we'll go through those things. I left there with a good feeling as a coach with the calls that I made, because I was making Houda's weight choices for her. She trusted me with that. Houda didn't get any PBs, as in she's lifted more in the gym. But with powerlifting, it's just different. With powerlifting, you've got specific bars, specific rules, just so many rules in powerlifting, like weightlifting. So I would consider these are the benchmark now for Houda. These are the PBs, and then aim to beat them next competition. And maybe she lifts heavier in training, but training and competition is very different. In all sports, but really so with powerlifting. So I did check with Houda mainly before the deadlift. What do you want out of today? Did ask her if she wanted to have fun. Are you going for the win? Are you going for the experience? So next time you're competing, ask yourself that. Why am I doing this? And maybe you don't have a why, but chat to me or chat to someone and try to figure out why you're doing this. Is it just for the experience? You just want to? Sometimes the answer can be, I just want to try it. But that can dictate your decisions and the effort that you give. If you want to win something, then that means that you're willing to risk things. And maybe it goes good, maybe it goes bad. So this was a low risk. The numbers that I took for Houda, I only put weights on the bar, or chose weights on the bar for her that I was very confident she could get. And I was correct. And I don't really think there was much more in the tank. A little bit. And that's what we'll go through quickly now. So thank you, Houda, for the experience yesterday. I've sent myself, that's a photo from yesterday. I like that photo, a selfie. This was at the end of the day before we left, once deadlifts were done. And it's a good feeling when competitions are done. First, squat. Where are we at with weights here? I think we opened, the idea was to go 75, 85, 95. And that's not what happened. So here's 75. Paused. I didn't film how many white lights. So nervous, probably. Houda wasn't showing signs of nerves to me. She was acting the same as she normally does. Chatty and fun. Probably borderline with depth from this angle. So judges were nice. Watch again. So the speed and everything's great, especially with a pause. So we actually jumped on the next one. Instead of jumping to 85, I wanted her to fix up this pause and not pause, so I didn't want to do a 10-kilo jump. So I believe we went to 80 instead of 85. And this one got at least 1 red light. And depth on this one, I think wasn't there. Take a look. From this angle, angles play a big difference. No pause, tipped over. Lots went wrong on that one. Was it 82.5 or 80? Got 1.25. It could be 82.5 instead of, tilted forward a bit, going down faster. Houda mentioned that the belt wasn't fitting as well as normal, because in powerlifting, you're not allowed to wear the underbelt, the soft belt that we wear in strongman that fills up some of the space. Not allowed to wear that in powerlifting, so she noticed that. So there's another learning curve. Getting used to the monolift. You can see with the monolift, you stand it up and the spotters move the, what are they called? This thing, move the rack. See how they move them out the way, so you don't actually have to move your feet. But that helps when the weights are heavy, but it takes a while to get used to. I've done it before. It feels really odd. So Houda got this lift. I haven't looked at the lights yet, but I think she got one red light, and I think a bit lucky here. from this angle. And when I saw it, I thought, oh, that might not be low enough. Yeah, I wouldn't have passed that. But she got it. We're not going to argue with the judges when the calls go our way or don't go our way. The judges' call is the judges' call. Anyway, after that, I think we went up to 85. So this was going to be Houda's second attempt. And look at that. Oh, yeah. That made me confident that she can do 90. But the first one was paused. The second one was forward. Getting used to being out there. There's just so much to get used to. It's just different to training. So remember that if you're ever doing your first comp, I'd recommend just trying to take what's there like we did. Houda's squatted 90 or 92 in the gym. But now we've got 85, 3 white lights, a great lifting comp. You guys can see that 90 kilos is there. The timing's great on that lift. The depth is great on that lift. Bit of a toe wiggle there that I'm not happy about before the descent. So things to work on, which is exciting. But that's a great lift. And the third lift. So the first two, there's just some nerves there. And there's, waiting for the squat call, waiting for the rack call. There's a lot to think about. You've got judges. You got the mono lift. Then you got to think about the belt's not fitting right. I'm trying not to pause. I want to stay upright. I got to make sure I go down low enough. So it's very different to training where you can just focus on the weight. So I thought I'd point that out. Well done, Houda. A great start. I was very happy with that. That would have been great if the second lift looked like that because then we would have gone for 90, but that's not what happened. So we move on. Bench press opened at 50 kilos. Gets one red light from James here. I think I filmed it. One red light. So I asked him, what's going on? Her feet were touching the upright. You can't see it, but her feet were touching the beam here, which isn't allowed. So I told her that. Not allowed to touch that. So he noticed that and red lighted her. The next part's pretty hard. I'll let this play a few times. Once you get the press call, the bar is not allowed to go down. Okay? Not after the press call. There is to be no downward motion of the bar. So take a look. I'll try. Just look for it. I won't turn it up because it ruins everything when I turn things up. But once she gets the press call, just have a look at the pause and then just look at my mouse cursor here. The weight goes very slightly down up. Have a look. See if you can notice it. I would look at the bar, not the weight. I'd look here, down up. Oh my God, it's slight. But I think it's there. So James is on to that, and that's what he red lighted her for. So a great lift. I'm looking at how fast the weight moves and the pause and the calls. I was very confident for Houda to go up 5 kilos, which was our plan. So here's 55. Thanks, Nick, for giving the handout so I could film. Feet are in a different spot. Bit of a grind. The lockout was fast once it got over the eyes, but the feet position, because Houda was trying not to touch here, so she made a drastic change in her feet. See how here her ankles are behind her knees? The angle there, let me go back. See how the angle here, her feet would be here, so there's an actual angle. Great use of the legs here. All she had to do was move the feet a little bit to the left or right, could maintain that angle, or move it a little bit further back or a tiny bit further forward to get away from the upright. So she made a drastic change, which we never want to do. What am I doing, guys? So see, that's a drastic change in feet position. She's away from this beam now, but she's away by 10 inches. And now the angle here has changed. So we're getting a lot less leg drive. So I noticed that, but the pauses was great. She waits for the down, press, and waits for the rack. And you can see here, just the bar went a bit straight, and then it locks out fast once you get over her eye. So the bar path is important, guys, with bench. We want to try and press back over the eyes as soon as possible. Don't forget that. But a good lift. Instead of going up 5 kilos, I thought 2.5. I thought if we can get things right, so you can see she's moved her feet a bit further back now. If we can get things right, I was very confident this would go up. And I just thought, if she blasts this like the squat and, 60 was there, I'll live with that decision. But I don't want to go for 60 and have her miss it. So this is 57.5, down a bit faster, grind, and then look at that. See the bar path, guys? See how the bar travels forward towards me? So the bar comes this way, and it looks like she's struggling. But then as soon as it gets in line with her forearms and her shoulder joint, it rockets up. So this is bar path practice. So when I've got Houda doing her next prep, bar path is going to be a big one. Foot position. So I'm still not too happy with this. Houda works best with her ankles behind her knees, maybe up on the toes to use the legs more. And then push with the legs that the bar goes this way. We want to transfer the weight through the legs into the bar to go back this way over the eyes. Look how fast this lockout is once it's in position. loses it forward, and then very easy. So 60 kilos is there with better legs. So she's up on the toes. So I'd rather her be on her toes, but the feet back here. So there's some positional things that we learnt about, but stoked with the weight choice and what she learnt. Being able to think that much, guys, when you've got a judge and lights and you're not just worried about the weight and technique. There's a lot to think about in powerlifting. I don't like it. Then on to deadlifts. Houda was looking forward to this immensely. It's the easiest one in powerlifting because you only have to wait for a down call. They say bar is loaded, and then you can go lift whenever you want, and you just have to wait for the judge in front of you to say down. You don't have to wait for... So there's two referee calls with the squat, 3 with the bench, 1 with the deadlift. And deadlifts are just badass. They're the best. So we opened at 115. So Houda there, you can see her like she was kind of waiting for the judge to tell her to go because with the squat and bench, everything was waiting for the judge. So she's in this position here, and then she's like, should I go? And then she just goes. There's no leg pump. You guys know I like the leg pump. She just kind of, should I go? Yeah, now. And then starts pulling. Like, I reckon Houda, you're still talking. Should I go? You're still talking when you start to pull. How on earth have you breathed properly into your diaphragm and belt and tensed up and used your... If you're still talking, you haven't. That's the answer. So I saw that flew up. I wasn't really happy with the position type stuff, how fast the hips move up. But I was like, that looked easy for someone that's barely even braced. Let's go up 10 kilos like we planned. So this is 125, which we planned. Now she knows that she doesn't have to wait. Bit of a leg pump. Moves pretty fast once it moves. Bit of a pull forward. So I watched this video a couple of times. Good lift, Houda. Well done. I went up to Houda after that lift because our plan was to go to 135. I wasn't super confident she would get 135, but I didn't want to tell her that. We'd gone 8 out of 8 lifts so far, and I went up to her and asked, kind of, what do you want to do? Would you be 140's her PB in the gym? I don't think that would have gone up yesterday, but I kind of wanted her to tell me, what do you think you can do? I'll tell you what I think you can do. What do you want out of this? Are you okay with missing? I can't remember what we said, but my idea was, are you okay with missing this? Do you want to go for something? So I thought if she was like adamant, no, I want 135. I believe I can do 135. I would have happily let her do that. I said to her, you will definitely get 132.5. There's no doubt in my mind 132.5 is going up. 135, I was 50-50. But if she believed and wanted it, I reckon she would get it. So we ended up going for 132.5. I just wanted to... We agreed, just very quick conversation. Let's lock in 9 out of 9 lifts. 132.5 will definitely go up. So, you're walking up to this bar. When I tell you that I'll never tell you a weight's going to go up if I don't believe it. So you can walk up to the bar in confidence, guys, So I believe, same thing. What do you guys think would have gone up? Now I'm watching this, or even at the time I'm like, yep, you would have got 135, but it's all about belief. When you're up to this point, guys, your third lift, sometimes it really is belief and the mindset. And she really attacked it. That moved pretty fast off the floor, I think, for Houda, for sumo. So 135 would have gone up for sure. I'm deciding right now. But only if the belief was there. If I told her, oh, it's risky, I don't know, I think you should do this. I've got athletes walking to the bar with a seed of doubt in their mind, and I don't like that. So I really like people going for weights that I believe or know they can get. But sometimes I'll be like, hey, if you want more, if you've got your mind attached to a certain number and you want to go for it and you believe or it's important to you, I'm here with you and I'll let you go for it. I've only been wrong a couple of times, and it's barely wrong. When I've called a weight, one chick a couple of years ago went 5 kilos heavier than I thought she could, and she got the lift, but it was a massive hitch. She almost fell over doing it, and she got it and locked it out, and I was like, wow, I was wrong. I didn't think that would go up, but it was like she just wanted it. She had certain reasons to want that lift and got it. And when else has it happened? I've been surprised a little bit in the gym when Liv and Mon got their... was it when they got 160 or when they got 170? When they got 170, yeah. I was like, well, I didn't think that was going up today. I called 165s. So I'm wrong sometimes, but it's by a kilo or two, I promise you. Only with deadlifts. So the squats and bench is a little bit harder for me because I haven't had as much experience watching people. I still had hours and hours and hours of it, but nowhere near as much. I've had decades of experience somehow watching people with deadlifts. So it is a useful skill. it's a useful skill for my realm that I'm in and the job that I'm in. I'm good at making calls. I'm good at what to look for. I enjoy it. I was even watching the other people there compete. If I saw them lift, I was trying to guess what I would go for. And the chick before Houda, she can attest to this. The chick that went before Houda went for, I can't remember the weight, but I'm like, I wouldn't have gone if it was her third deadlift. And I saw her second deadlift, and I said she should go up 5 kilos on her next lift, and she went up 10. And I'm like, she ain't going to get it. And she didn't get it. She got closer than I thought, though. But guys, you can trust me on deadlifts. You can trust me on deadlifts. I don't know how it's happened or why, but I can watch someone. The more I know a person, especially, it's a bit harder if I don't know the person, because some people can grind things out. Some people are slower off the floor and still finish, or blah, blah, blah. But I'm pretty good with it. Anyway, Houda, thank you for the experience yesterday. If you've watched this video, hope you've learnt something. If you want to give powerlifting a go, or if you want to give strongman a go, your first comp, maybe this gives you some things to think about or consider. Even if it's not your first comp, guys, why are you doing this comp that you signed up for next, whatever comp it is? Why are you doing it? You don't have to find a deep answer. It doesn't have to be a great answer, but just why are you doing it? What do you want out of it? And how is that going to dictate your emotions and choices? Cheers, everyone. See you at the club.